It's okay. Okay, so
במסכת סנהדרין, שהוא היה תלמיד של תנא, אבל הוא כפר בעיקר, הוא יצא לדרך שהיא לא עד של העולם הבא. משהו כזה.
אוקיי. מה להוסיף? שאתה יודע.
אף אחד פה לא נהנה, הנאה מוחלטת. אז ברור שעדיין העולם הבא עוד לא הגיע.
מה? צריך לכבד. כמו שיש את מוחמד, יש את ישו, ויש את...
Who is Jesus to you?
Oh.
זה על ישו, מי זה ישו במבט ה... Jesus Christ במבט היהודי.
אנחנו מאמינים בתורה, יש לנו את התורה.
Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
Welcome to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Today I'm going to bring you a story about Palestine and how the people of Palestine are being slowly eradicated right before our eyes. You got to understand something, people. Hitler tried to eradicate the Jews in one fell swoop. But the Jewish people and the whole world are trying to eradicate the Palestinians slowly. There's a reason for that. If you eradicate somebody in one mass swoop, it will turn others against you. Your own people will turn against you, just like the Germans did against Hitler. The world will turn against you. So they're systematically doing it slowly. This is a serious topic. This is going to be a serious show. And the reason why it's serious is because this is life and death for a lot of those people over there. And I want to say to the Palestinians that there might not be anything that an individual like me can do about it, but some of us can speak out. Some of your own people that's here in the United States, they're not even speaking out, because they love the luxury that they live in, the luxury that they have being here in the States. They don't have bombs dropping over their heads. Their children are not slowly being eradicated. Now, I'm gonna break this show down into like 2 or 3 parts so you can understand really what I'm talking about. The first part of the show, I'm going to talk about the civil war that's going on between the Palestinians. Some of the Palestinians want to work with the Jews, the Israelites. I think that's going to further help along their eradication. Then you got Hamas. They don't want to work with the Jews at all. I want you to understand that if this is from people on iHeartRadio who can't see the videos, okay? Of course, you can always go to YouTube and check out the whole video if you can't see it on iHeartRadio. But Christians and Jews, okay, let's start there. Number one, Christianity was not created by Jesus. Christianity was created by Paul, one of his disciples. Later on, Rome picked it up, added some paganism to it, and basically made it a law of the land, or as far as religion go. Everyone knows about this, that knows religion, knows about the Tribune of Nicaea, and how Emperor Constantine II, ratified Christianity and made it a religion. Paul created it, not Jesus, but Rome and Emperor Constantine II basically put their stamp on it. You're going to find out that a lot of Israeli people don't believe in Jesus like that. Yes, he was a Jew. Yes, he was part of their people. To them, he's not a Messiah. Also, the whole idea that we put the Israeli people back into Israel is false. We should have stayed out of that. Not saying we shouldn't have stopped Adolf Hitler. We should have stopped him and stopped the crimes that he was doing against the Jewish people. But we shouldn't have never got involved in trying to put the Israeli people back into Israel. These are my thoughts on it. Everyone has an opinion. The Jewish people were conquered and defeated thousands of years ago. Some of them people blended into other cultures. Some became Muslim. Some moved to Europe. As you're going to see in this video, a man is going to talk about that. The thing about it is, when we place those people back into their country that they got defeated in, we upset the balance. And for you people out there who really don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to use the Native Americans as an example. America is the Native Americans' country, okay? But we have a balance, okay? If Canada came into America, told America, you're going to have to give the Native Americans more and more and more of America. What we did was, what the Canadians are doing is upsetting the balance. The Native Americans were conquered, okay? And now the world is trying to turn the Palestinians into the Native Americans. This little bit of land right here is all you get. Everywhere else is our land. This little bit of land is what you get. Even though you conquered us thousands of years ago, 100 years ago, through the Indian Wars, the European Indian Wars, we Canadians are going to come in here and tell you Americans, you got to give the Native Americans Louisiana, Texas, Utah, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming. How you think that's going to sit with American citizens? I'm speaking to people who have a sense of thought, who have a thought process that they can understand this. If the Canadian people and say Mexico got together, told the American people, we're going to push you out of Texas, Oklahoma, Utah, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming. That's Indian land now. that upsets the balance, and it's going to be a war. American people are going to go crazy. Now, saying that, why do you think the Palestinian people are so upset? Bombing, guerrilla tactics, fighting in the streets, kidnapping Israeli people. Because essentially what we did was we took an ancient war that already took place thousands of years ago, where the Israeli people lost, and then the Israeli people got spread out all over the world. Okay? And we interjected ourselves into that. We told the Israeli people, this is your land. You know, forget those people that's already here. This is your land. And every year, the Israeli people take more and more and more land of the Palestinian people. That's why they're upset. I'm hoping somebody out there is hearing me. No one wants to understand that until it happens to you in your backyard. Until the Native Americans start bombing and kidnapping people in Salt Lake City. And then America says, hold on, what's going on? Why the Native Americans are all of a sudden attacking white people? The world wants to turn the Palestinian people into the Native Americans. You sit down on this little bit of land, shut up, and don't complain about nothing. I got a lot of Native American friends. They don't like outsiders, but they really don't like whites. And they are a proud people. But against America, they can't do nothing. The Palestinians are some proud people too. Against the world, they can't do nothing. If the Palestinians really wanted to, they could probably move in with the help of a couple of other Muslim countries and destroy Israel. Take it over. This is a touchy subject for some people, especially people who kiss the ass of Israel. I would never do that. Israel are our people. The Israelis are our people. The Palestinians are our people. And they deserve to be respected as such and not slowly destroyed. I want to get into the show because there's a lot of things that tie into this that you need to know about, especially when it comes to Christians and how the Israeli people really feel about you. They tolerate you, but they don't believe in your Jesus. They don't like you. Let's get into the show.
The business, motherfucker. The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
A small civil war, as you said, between Hamas and other Gazan militias some of them actually extended families that challenged the very dominant position of Hamas recently.
Now, before I get into this next part, I just want to tell you guys that everything that's going to be on this show, you need to pay attention to very carefully because it connects. The Palestinians want to fight to the death. They conquered the Israeli people a millennia ago. Most of these Israeli people are European. They're not even Arabs. You got Jewish Arabs, you got Muslim Arabs, okay? Most of these white people are European. They were born and raised in Eastern Europe, they were born and raised in Germany, and they done came back to this land with their high heels and their fashion dress, and they're slowly destroying the Palestinian people who conquered them thousands of years ago. And the world is sitting back letting this bullshit happen. And I'm going to say it again, that's just like the Canadians coming in and helping the Native Americans take back land in America. How many of you would that sit right with? I mean, let's just be real. How many of you in America would agree with that? If the Canadians came in, met up with some Sioux Indians in South Dakota, gave them military weapons, and told them kill every anytime an American attack you or come on your land, slaughter them.
Who is Jesus for you?
תמות בשביל אנשים שלא חושבים לבד.
Okay. I can translate it. It's okay. Okay, so
You see how she laughed? She looks like a white Jew from Europe. She doesn't have the dark brown skin of an Arab. You have Jewish Arabs. You have Jewish Muslim Arabs. She looks like she came straight out of Germany.
oh, you think
It's just a story for people that have not been told already.
Now listen to what she just said now. Because like I said, this whole show is going to connect in the end. You got to pay attention. They put up with Americans because America has the power to help them fight off their enemies. But they don't give two shits about you or your religion or Jesus at all. Jesus was a heretic to them. I'm going to say that again for those of you sitting on your porch with your grandma and she telling you stories out the Bible. To these people, Jesus was a heretic. Let's keep going.
do you think that about all religions or just Christians?
מי זה ישו? כאילו בבחינת מהמבט היהודית.
יש גמרא על ישו, מסכת סנהדרין, שהוא היה תלמיד של תנא, אבל הוא כפר בעיקר. יצא לדרך שהיא לא הדרך של היהדות. הוא האמין בזה שכבר הגיע הזמן של העולם הבא, למרות שלא הגיע הזמן של העולם הבא. משהו כזה.
אני אוסיף, שאתה יודע, והשאלה, למה אנחנו יהודים לא מאמינים שישו הוא המשיח?
כיוון שלא הגיעה הגאולה, אני סובר שהגיעה הגאולה ואין יותר עניין בלעבוד ולעשות מצוות, אבל היהדות טוענת שעדיין יש זמן לעשות מצוות, כי גם כיוון שעדיין אף אחד פה לא נהנה, הרעה מוחלטת, ברור שעדיין הרעה לא הגיעה.
There, this wasn't, in the Bible, it even says this was...
Now, I just told you how the Palestinian people are about to go into a civil war because you got a certain population of the Palestinians who want to be on TikTok, who want to be with the rest of the world. And I don't, and mind you, I agree with that. They should be a part of the rest of the world. But you got another part of Hamas or the Palestinians that want to seek out and destroy people who are trying to conquer them, which is what the Jewish people are doing. They're slowly eradicating the Palestinians. This is a plan that's going to take decades. They can't just go in there right away and cull. If you don't know what cull means, look it up. They just can't go in and eradicate these people because the whole world will turn against them. So they're slowly doing it. Slowly. They kill 100,000, 200,000, and the whole world don't even blink. Then they move into those little lands because the population of the Palestinians have shrunken because they've killed so many of them. And then 10 years from now, they'll do another little war, kill 100,000, 200,000, and the population of the Palestinians keep shrinking. This is systemic obliteration. Period. And nobody's talking about this. And the whole time the Jewish people are getting aid and help from America. You know why? Because the American Christians know that Jesus came from the Jewish people. But, here's the but. The Jewish people don't give two fucks about Jesus. He was nothing to them. He was a heretic to them. Jesus didn't even start Christianity. Jesus led a certain group of people who wanted to fight against Rome. So the Jews and Rome considered him a heretic. Paul, one of his disciples, after Jesus died, created Christianity. But Jesus never believed in Christianity. There was no such thing when he was alive. Do any of you understand this? Let's keep going.
Not like desolate, just empty land. There were people that were there, the Canaanites, and then Abraham showed up with his family. So where does scholars say Abraham came from? Well, scholars say that, says the Bible states that Abraham was raised in Ur of the Chaldeans. Most scholars agree that Ur, that area was the Sumerian city of, anyway, they say it's about the city where Abraham comes from is about 200 miles southeast of Baghdad. I can't pronounce all the names. But 200 miles southeast of Baghdad in lower Mesopotamia in what is now modern day Iraq. So he comes from Iraq. That's where Abraham comes from. That's where the Jewish people come from. Because it was Abraham's children. He had 13 children, 12 of them boys, one of them a girl. So there's the 12 tribes of Israel.
Are y'all listening to this? Pay attention. There were already people, Arabs, already living in Israel. It wasn't called Israel then. Abraham came from southern Iraq with his kids. And they started the Israeli people in Israel. But there were people already there.
And that's the Jewish people. Some of that is the Jewish people. So they didn't even come from there, but he's admitting that, but he's saying, but let's keep watching.
And everyone can read that in the Bible. Assuming you don't believe the Bible, then you can look at archaeology, which shows evidence of about 3,000 years ago. There's no dispute that the Jewish people founded their first commonwealth, the Kingdom of David, 3,000 years ago. It was destroyed. We were kicked out. We came back, founded the second Commonwealth of Israel, which went on for several hundred years. And again, it was destroyed, this time by the Romans. Jews stayed in Israel, but few...
Let me stop that right there. The second time the Israeli people came back to Israel, it was destroyed by the Romans. That's the time of Jesus, when the Romans came in. Okay? Jesus was trying to fight against the Romans. But at the same time, while he was trying to fight against the Romans, he had another religious cult inside of Judaism that they didn't like. Understand how all of this is connected. Listen very carefully. The Romans came in, took over Israel, destroyed it, set up King Herod. Okay? Jesus was not the son of Joseph. He was a bastard child of Mary. Now we can get into all of that, how infidelity has been going on for decades, centuries, a millennia. But Joseph loved Mary, so he took Jesus as his son. But Jesus was not his biological son. Most women back then were stoned to death. Joseph couldn't have that. So now you got this whole, virgin pregnancy. Instead of saying, she went out here and had sex behind an olive branch with somebody and got pregnant, we're not going to stone her because that's Joseph's love. We're not going to stone her to death. Let's keep this shit in reality, people.
In Israel, the rest of the Jews were kicked out to all across the world, and every day they prayed 3 times a day that they want to return to Israel, and it was...
Okay, so let's pause right there for just a second. So he says the Jews stayed in Israel, so a few Jews stayed in Israel. The rest of the Jews were kicked out all across the world. Okay, where did the Jews go? So the 10 lost tribes. So there were the 12 tribes of Israel were actually 13 tribes, because one of the tribes was actually split into 2, Ephraim and Manasseh. So there's 13 tribes effectively. Most of them were lost. There were a couple of them that remained. We know the history of those people and they were the Jewish people that stuck around, that were there. We know that those people were there. The 10 lost tribes, however, let me just read this to you. The king of Assyria captured Samaria, and he carried them away to Assyria and placed them in Hala and on the harbor, the river of Gozan, and the cities of Medes. So in the years 722 to 721 BC, the 10 tribes who comprised the northern kingdom of Israel disappeared, conquered by the Assyrian king. They were exiled to Upper Mesopotamia, today modern Syria and Iraq. So they're Arabs. So these are the 10 lost tribes. They weren't lost like they disappeared into nothingness. They were lost in that they lost their identity.
Let me translate that into normal speaking terms. She's educated. She's doing too much education talk. So let me break this down to you. When the Romans came in, destroyed Israel and conquered it, they put a puppet on the throne, King Herod, but King Herod knew that there was his throne was in jeopardy because of Jesus and Joseph and John the Baptist. John the Baptist was a cousin. These are men who were in direct lineage, direct line to the throne. So King Herod tried to have them executed, but they couldn't find Jesus. But remember, Jesus was not the biological son, even though he was an adopted son. An adopted son can still challenge the throne, even though he's not blood. Okay? Let's get this straight. So now all of these tribes of Israel, except for 2, got captured by other countries. And what happens when a group of people get captured, they turn into their captors. Look at us Americans, us black Americans. We got captured by the Europeans. We became slaves. And now we're living in America. Our black women running around here with hair weaves, trying to look like this woman right here with long flowing hair. They got skin lightening cream, right? This is what happens when a group of people get captured. They slowly blend in with the people that captured them. So all of the modern day Iraqis, all of the modern day Syrians, a lot of those people are Jewish blood. They're Muslim, okay, because they got captured by Muslims. But most of those people have Jewish blood. I had to break that down for some of you who can't really understand her scientific speak.
Lost their Jewishness. They lost their the religion that they believe. They lost their ancestral identity. They don't know who they are anymore.
Throughout history...
Let me stop that right there. What she said is very important because Martin Luther King Jr. said the same thing. That famous speech where he says, we lost our religion, our culture, our gods. Many of us have even lost our minds. Martin Luther King Jr. said the same thing that this woman is saying about the Israeli people. Some of them got captured by other races, settled in. Some of their women started having babies by those people that captured them. And over time, they turned into the captors. Same thing with us black Americans. We got captured as slaves. We had our own religion, our own cultures, our own ways of cooking food. And what did the white people do? They slowly beat that shit out of us. And now you got some old wrinkled up grandmother sitting on the porch telling her grandkids about Jesus Christ. Let's use some real thinking here, people. Not the hocus pocus stuff.
Religions have borrowed ideas from one another. This is not unique to Christianity, but the extent to which it has taken elements from older pagan beliefs is often overlooked. Many people assume that Christianity brought something entirely new to the world, but a closer look reveals a different story. Much of what is now considered core Christian doctrine can be traced back to earlier pagan myths. This is not speculation.
Now, this part of the show is telling you how Paul, which is one of Jesus' disciples, started Christianity. Okay? Jesus was not a Christian. Okay? He was a Jew. He believed in Judaism. A kind of different take on it, but he believed in Judaism. Okay? Paul is the one who went out in the lands and traveled after Jesus was crucified and started teaching and taking other elements from other teachings and added it in, and it became Christianity.
But a well-documented historical reality that scholars have studied for centuries. The story of Jesus bears striking similarities to earlier mythological figures. Many ancient cultures had gods or divine figures who were born of virgins, performed miracles, died, and were resurrected. The Egyptian god Horus, for example, was said to have been born of the virgin Isis, just as Jesus was born of Mary. He was also depicted as a savior figure who battled evil forces, similar to Jesus' role in Christian theology. Dionysus, the Greek god of wine and festivity, was also said to have been born of a virgin and turned water into wine, an act famously attributed to Jesus. Mithras, a Persian deity worshipped by Roman soldiers, was believed to have been born on December 25th and was associated with themes of resurrection and salvation.
What is December 25th? That's supposed to be Jesus' birthday, right? Nobody really knows when Jesus was born. Everybody guesses. But they gave Jesus this birthday. Rome did. Because Rome adopted Christianity and added pagan beliefs to it. Let's keep going.
The idea of a God who dies and rises again is one of the most common motifs in ancient mythology.
Who is Jesus to you? מי זה ישו בשבילך?
ישו, זה הנביא של המצרים.
אתה רוצה להוסיף משהו?
לא, הנביא האלוהים של המצרים.
אוקיי.
בן אדם טוב היה, עליך. הוא היה צדיק. כמו משה רבנו שלנו. צריך לכבד, כמו שיש את מוחמד, יש את ישו, ויש את האלוהים שלנו, יש את משה רבנו שלנו. היה בן אדם טוב, הייתי בקייטנה בכלל.
Who is Jesus to you?
Cousin. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess, for me it's nothing.
We stop there right there. Y'all getting where I'm going with this? The Arab world outside of Europe, they don't look at Jesus as nothing more than a great man who tried to lead his people, like any other great man, like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X. They don't make him into a deity. Okay? Most of these people don't give two fucks about Jesus. It's the Torah. Okay? And we as Americans have been ass-kissing these people for so long because Jesus came from them. It's crazy. That's like somebody ass-kissing black people because Martin Luther King Jr. came from black people in America. That's silly. Let's keep going.
I guess it's someone for people who consider themselves Christian.
זה על ישו, מי זה ישו בנבט Jesus Christ בנבט היהודית?
ישו? כן. הוא לא קשור אלינו בכלל.
אוקיי, אז למה הוא לא המשיח?
הוא לא קשור אלינו, אנחנו מאמינים בתורה, יש לנו את התורה שלנו.
You heard what she said? Jesus is not a part of us. Yeah, he was Jew, but we believe in the Torah. All that other stuff, the Christian Bible, the Christianity, they don't care two fucks about that at all. This is coming from normal people on the streets of Israel, letting you know. Some of these people have been warned. You know, if you see some people come up to you on the streets talking about this, you know, you can tell. You can tell these people, they're really uncomfortable with telling the truth because they still want America to back them. But it slips out. The reason it slips out is because if you believe in something seriously enough, you're going to tell the truth about it. If I believe you're a piece of shit, it is only too long that I can be around you before it starts showing. I don't fuck with you. I might give you short answers. You know, I might start telling you, yeah, I come to your event and don't even show. Let's keep going. She said Christians live in a fantasy world. That's what she just said. Christians live in a fantasy world.
מי זה ישו בשבילכם?
של הנצרות. זה לא מדויק היסטורית, אבל נחשב מייסד האמיתי זה פאולוס.
You heard what he just said? Christianity was not started by Jesus. It was started by Paul after Jesus died. Paul left because he was being persecuted and started his own religious sect following the teachings of Jesus. And they call it Christianity. The thing about it is, once Rome got a piece of it, Rome started adding all kinds of pagan rituals. The wreath on the door, the Christmas tree, the Easter eggs, you know, all of this other stuff. Rome did that.
הוא בעצם מייסד הנצרות האמיתית.
הבנתי, אוקיי.
הפרויקט
זה פרויקט שלי, שאני עושה, אני לומד ומלמד קונפליקטים, למה אנחנו עובדים, ובחו"ל יש הרבה מיתוס על הקונפליקט ועל ישראלים, פלסטינים בכלל, יותר על ישראלים, הרבה יותר, ואז אני אומר לאנשים, תשלח לי שאלות, אני אלך כל שאלה, אני אלך ברחוב, שאנשים יודעים.
וואי, אני עובדת
English? Even better.
I work in an organization that gives help to pregnant women who are of financial difficulties. And some, I think they were making a donation. And they said that they were Christians. And they were living in Israel for many years or something like that. And they asked me if I'm a believer. And I thought for a minute and I said, I'm a Jew. They stopped asking me.
Yeah, I think there's an automatic assumption that they can't quite figure out why we don't believe in Jesus. If we believe at all. So, okay, can you maybe explain in some way why Jews in general, or you, don't believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, that kind of thing?
It's not our tradition. We have our own tradition, which is very ancient and very ingrained. And part of it is not believing in Jesus.
Do you happen to know why we don't believe Jesus was the Messiah? Do you happen to know why?
Because we have different picture of what Messiah is. We see Messiah as something that's going to happen in the future, and it's going to fix the world. The world's going to be the way it's supposed to be when Messiah comes. And it hasn't happened yet, so pretty simple. But the stronger answer is that it's just not in our tradition.
The pigs, motherfucker!
The Daily Read. Gentry.
Now, we come back full circle, people. The reason I played for you all of that, is because it needs to be understood that the Palestinian people have just as much rights to the land of Israel than the Jewish people do. And their rights have been violated, they're being obliterated, and it's been going on for decades now. But these are the people that conquered the Jewish people. Some of these people have Jewish blood in them, which is why I did all of that. Because when the Jewish people got conquered, a lot of them converted to Islam. A lot of them had babies by Muslim people. So a lot of these people that you see on the screen, some of them being executed, some of them standing up there being the executioner, a lot of these people have Jewish blood in them. Just like we Americans. When you walk down the street, you see a black woman with curly reddish hair, she has white blood in her, or Indian blood in her, some type of European blood in her. And over the centuries, we as black Americans have slowly integrated into white society to where we're slowly becoming them and they are us, which is why we are Americans. Okay? Now that all of that's out the way, what needs to happen is Israel and the Palestinians need to sit down and create one country, create one police force, create one army. This is the reason why. Because both of those people have rights to that land. But since Jesus came from the Jewish culture, many people around the world is trying to force the Palestinians out, when that shouldn't be the case. I hope you understand what I'm saying. That's just like the Native Americans. The Native Americans have just as much rights to America as we do. We have rights to this country because we took it. They have rights to this country because they was here before us. So what we've created in America is a symbiosis to where Native Americans got their own land, but they can still move freely in America. And it should be the same way with the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people should be able to move freely within Israel, because they have just as much rights to that country as the Israeli people do. And it's sad to see that we live in a country where we have a symbiosis going on. We have a mosque on this corner and a church on this corner and a Jewish synagogue on this corner. How come they can't have it? Listen to what I just said. We live in a country where I can walk down the street and see a Christian church, go down a block and see a Muslim mosque, go down another block and see a Jewish synagogue with a whole bunch of people with yarmulkes standing out front. How come they can't do it? Part of it is because of bigotry. Part of it is because the whole world keeps trying to help these people in their bigotry. I hope I'm getting through to some of you guys out there. I hope you understand what I'm saying. See, the Palestinians are messing up right now because they're about to go into a civil war because you got a certain faction of Palestinians who got just as much bigotry as the Israeli people do, and they want to wipe the Israeli people out. And then you got a small faction of Palestinians who want to just say, you know what, everybody need to just come together, and they're considered collaborators. And they're being executed. So, you know, I hope you guys are learning something from this. I try to bring you some real shit. You can also check out my other channel where I talk about the hyenas and why we have a YN problem in this country. It's basically a bunch of webcam videos or police cam. The police, I've always had mixed feelings about the police, but ever since they started making them wear body cams, number one, is making them act right. Number two, is showing you the day-to-day interactions with normal people that the police have to go through. And it helps them. It helps the police. It helps the police because some of these normal traffic stops, and I know I'm going on a whole different subject right now, but I'm basically done with this. America needs to stay out of this. Not just out of Palestine, but they need to stay out of Israeli business too. If the Israeli people can't fend for themselves, they already been conquered 2 or 3 times already. We need to stop playing these games with these people. But back to the body cam issue, with the cop body cam, I like it because it's showing the human side of the police and the things that they go through out here when they have normal traffic stops. Most of these traffic stops are just, you know, take your ticket and go on about your business. But it's also showing how a lot of people have this sense of entitlement, especially our women. They have this sense of entitlement to where you can already tell if they so disagreeable with the police, you already know how they are in their home life. Which is why you got the YN problem. But I hope you guys learned something from today. This is the Daily Read, and I'm out.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.